Good morning, everyone. So, believe it or not, we're going to start. It started back in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm 61 years old. And when I was young, before I was born, my mother told me that the doctor said that she could not have me, that I would jeopardize her life and mine as well. So she went to church, and she's a Pentecostal believer, and she had the pastor pray over her stomach, and they poured holy oil over her stomach. And so she said, when I was born, I was the biggest, healthiest baby in the daycare. So, of course, with my mother being church, when she was married, my father and I had one sister, one brother. I was the baby. My mother, she kept us in church all the time. She just loved the Lord. And so, I guess, I don't know, I guess it rubbed off of me and I just loved the Lord. So, I went to down in school and eventually my mother sent us to this kindergarten, and the kindergarten lady, this was in the 60s, she wore all black and she had a cane. And I remember very well that every time I go into class, and she'd have like about 10, 12 kids, she would put me under the desk. And I would have to sit under the desk while everybody else was sitting in the regular, and then she would put her chair in, and I would sit in the little dark corner. And so I didn't know why she did that, but it really petrified me, it traumatized me. And finally, my mother saw me coming home, not the same way I left. And so she sent me to a daycare, to another kindergarten. This kindergarten was a church kindergarten, and they taught me all the names of the Bible. I was 5 years old, and I knew all the names of the Bible. And they put me on TV, and they just uplifted me. And I just started, was like, wow, I didn't know that I was very easy to be teachable. So I would soar, be like the top student or whatever else. So I'm doing good in school. I'm being obedient to a mother, and people are coming to see me because I'm 5 years old and I know all the names of the Bible. And back in the 60s and the 70s, that was just a little kind of unusual for a kid to know all these things or whatever, and especially on TV or whatever. So it made to the part where my mother saw a gift in me. And so I went in the Bible. She got me this Bible, and I started reading all the stories. So I said, "Wow, I wonder if God's real." One night, and I went outside, and I went in my backyard, and I went and I looked up in the sky, and I said, "God, are you real?" And I was 8 years old, and I said, "Lord, if you're real, show me a sign to say that you're real." And I'm sitting here, and then I saw a little blink, and I was like, "Is that you? Do it again." And he did it again for me. So when he did it, I said, "You are real. You are real." So I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be famous and a movie star, but I don't want to be that now. I read about Moses and I read about how he led all your people to you and how he just, won souls for you. And that's what I want to do. I want to be like Moses. And then I said, oh, and then he started just lightning. The sky was just lighten. And I was like, he's just talking. He's letting me talk to him. And so then I said, oh, yeah. And Solomon, the wisest, I want to be wise like him. So I don't care about the money, about me being famous no more now. You can have that too. Okay. I just want to be wise and I want to be like Moses and save people. Okay. So then he started lightening up the sky and whatever. And I was just talking away. So then I messed up and I said, but the main thing I want is when I get to heaven, I want to sit on your lap and I want to hug you because I love you and like that. And why did I say that? Because he turned the night to day and he started cracking the sky so much that I had to run. What I want to tell you guys is that God did, I believe that he covered me, and no matter where I went at in life, and I took a real bad turn in life, I was able to be that witness to tell people about God, no matter where I was at. And people would listen, and people was hurt, and people were crying, and people would change their life and go and change and go to the Lord. And I'd still be out there. And I was like, "Oh, Lord, why am I still being out here?" And he said, "Because I'm using you. I'm using you to go in places where people don't go." And with that, I know that through all my life, no matter how many times that I was in jeopardy and I could have died, He saved me because we made that vow that I would win as much souls for Him as long as I'm on this earth. Thank you, guys.